you're applying it to damp skin,
Yeah.
and the product that you put in your hand, you want to hold it and warm it and press it into the skin. You don't want to rub it into your skin.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to leave a barrier, just like if you put a reflector up in the windshield of your car, you don't want to rub it in. So you want to make sure your skin's nice and hydrated before you put it on. Think of that as your last step.
Okay.
The Radiant Protection Fluid's more of a hydrating SPF, but the Lila Poi is amazing. It just has to go on properly prepped skin or it's not as effective.
Okay.
So we are going to start with her neck. All I've done now is just apply Stone Crop Cleansing Oil from forehead down to bust line, give her a nice little feel for my touch. I always like to start in this department kind of doing a cross body move. This actually confuses the parasympathetic nervous system. Going cross body like this, it probably feels like she's got 4 hands on her. And I'm using a good amount of pressure, even from ear to ear across the jawline, as well as even pushing into this lymph node here going cross body. So you can do that as many times as you like. This is really good for those clients that aren't quick to really relax. Because again, it confuses the brain. This is actually a really good
Do you switch
massage
hands or do
routine.
you just do that?
But you can switch on and off however you like. I'll normally do at least 10 one way and then 10 the other way, and then see if this is still really tight when I'm coming into it, because you almost like scissor the ear. They sometimes call it milking the ear, and I still prefer scissoring the ear over milking. It just sounds gross. So this
It does
kinda
feel
opens up
nice,
everything.
like it's letting the tension go.
So it's pushed that whole way.
Me too.
Always give a nice little neck stretch because you have no idea how someone's really laying there until you pull on them. Some people really have their shoulders up. I'll even come in and kind of do that a few more times. Try and get that cervical spine warmed up. And then you can even, it's just in front of her for a little bit. Come underneath.
Nice.
And I always still do a push-pull, so I'm still going across her front while I'm going underneath.
Wow.
And this is where it'll be important, that table height, because normally my elbow is going to be resting on the table, and I'm just pushing under her. There's no lifting going on, so that saves you from getting under and scooping, because this will wear you out doing that all day. So to compromise, that's actually why I have my hand there, so that I have something to push off
This
of.
table's really low for you.
But just different ways to accommodate when you're working on someone, so that way you're still not leaning. I'll do it from this side too, so you guys can see my body language. It's kind of like a runner stance. I'll put the hand here and leverage underneath. Kind of follow through. So when you're making that movement, you can either use your thumb and get underneath the neck and go up to the neck here, or when you go under, you can use your other fingers when you're scooping. Go up here. I'll do that from the other side too, so you can see. So you can either come in and use your fingers here underneath the neck, or I can use my thumb on the other side to really get in. And this just lets your client know, like, you've got intention, you're working on them, you're loving on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just with the cleansing oil. You could do this with your facial mask on and just keep adding some water if you wanted to, but now she's nice and relaxed. She's got a nice little glow. You can see we even brought up some blood flow and circulation from that little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going so we can just give her a really nice detoxing cleanse because she's had a long weekend. So going into the jaw, they will not teach you this in school. They tell you to sit down and do this. Stand up, grab their head, and get in there. Getting in from this angle, you are now just using your body weight to work on someone versus if you were up here
Right.
doing this over and over again. This way you can now use your whole hand and they feel safe, they're not going anywhere, and you can even kind of bring them to you when you're getting up in there. So we're kind of going in with that ear, but we're really focusing on the
I feel like that
jawline.
lifts it way better.
And it's way easier for you. I hope you don't mind me messing up your hair. So you can bring that up. You can even use your thumb and kind of come in and pulse up a little lymphatic drainage. know and cue. You'll come around on this side. And again, you have got that stance of like a lunge, like you are just pushing into them. I'm not using like all the strength of my upper shoulder, my back. I'm leaning on her forehead and coming in and picking up that jawline. And we're coming back on my cheek roll here. So this is just to get everything nice and open so that we're not gonna make her puffy. Someone told me what smacks on there. I know I've got neck, jawline. I can't remember if it's the between the eyes.
I think it was.
Between the eyes.
Between the eyes. So typically now we've got this area opened. I'm gonna come to this side because I still come in front of people for this. Instead of standing behind someone and doing this, which works just fine and feels really good, you can come in front of somebody. I call this octopus hands. Have your hands nice and relaxed. Kind of come through and use your whole entire thumb to sort things out. You can really focus in and do one eye at a time. Go slow and intentional, because remember there's that corrugator nerve that comes out that lifts the brow. Someone who's wanting a brow lift, this is definitely where you would start. Some people, if they're side sleepers or have an overactive one side of their face because no one's perfectly symmetrical, some people have what I call the 7 instead of an 11. It's just one side. Then you want to definitely focus in and do this much more on one side and explain to them that's what you're doing, and that they have a very strong muscle right here that's causing that. And you tell them when you feel that pressure where I'm pushing on you, do this at home. They can do that same little kind of pinch and roll to get that tension out, because that's what's causing that repetitive contraction as it is. So nice little between the eye action. Really yummy for people who have sinus issues. Nice little lift and drain. You can even come in with the whole hand here. Get into the scalp. This was a lot better than just coming from behind as well. All the fingers, because this is then connected to the forehead, which is where we're going next. Also, don't be afraid to pull people's hair.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
there's a reason why head spas are becoming so popular
I
now,
love
because they're
head
even
spas.
practicing like Indian hair pulling, where they'll get a nice little twist and do a pretty decent, like it almost makes a popping sound because it's
Right.
separating the scalp from the skull.
Wow.
And all that happens with facial tension is truly fibers breaking into the skin and staying there. It's like when you work out, you build up lactic acid, the muscles exercising, letting things go. This is literally just a workout for your face. So I'm just getting a little bit more cleansing oil here. We've done neck, a little bit of her décolleté, jawline, between the eyes. Now we're gonna work on this big muscle here. When you're working on people from this angle, I always recommend to make sure you've got your fingers strong, but keep this part soft. If any of you have ever worked in a restaurant and they talk about cooking steaks, if it's really, really soft in the middle, it's still rare. If it's really, really hard, it's well done. You want the rare steak. You want a nice, soft, bendy part right here, because that part tense through this area does not feel very good. So nice little relaxed hands. You want to come in and slide all the way down. I try and pick up right here above the brow with this part of the thumb here. And I will shift my weight back and forth so that I'm not having to push with my arms down either. It's like ice skating, I've been told it looks like from behind, which is creepy. But this way you're able to give your full, like you can put a lot of weight on someone's forehead and it feels really, really good. How does this feel, Kim?
Good. Relaxing.
Yeah.
Kim's living her best life right now.
For real. I'm like, I'm so glad we got this out.
You needed it after this week.
It's been a lot of work the last week. Oh my gosh, I burned the candle from both ends for sure.
So one move that's not on there that I always like to do after going into that forehead, like this is all warmed up, I do like to come from the side again and work on this area. And you can sit and kind of warm it up before you start pulling it apart. But I love getting in there, pulling that thing apart. Meeting at the middle, and then give an they say this is like our little inner child, the ear, so don't be afraid to even do that, especially like this is cleansing oil I have on, so this is super beneficial to get in there. You can come up behind, come down and almost pull. This is really, truly connects to this area. People, like some people can move their ears. Can you guys move your ears?
No, my boyfriend can
It's
though.
weird, right?
Yes.
So that's an extra muscle that he has that comes across his little jawline here and comes and hooks behind here. He has the opposite of what people who have dimples have. Someone who has a dimple is actually a zygomatic deformity, believe it or not. Like it's not a normal thing, it's an actual hole in the muscle, and then he just got an extra one. So you can still develop tension in that area. If you've ever had a really bad migraine or had really bad sinuses, you'll feel pressure right here in this area, and it can be pretty tender. But this is an opportunity to like touch somebody in a place they've never been touched before and help them and not make it weird. Do not ever stick your finger in someone's ear. I've had that happen to me and I felt violated every which way south of Texas. And I laughed when she did it. I was like, what just happened? Like, why are you?
She stuck her finger right in.
End of the facial. I was like, oh my God, why did you do that to me?
That's
No.
weird.
So keep it invasive enough that it's a way they've never had before, confident enough that you know you're helping someone, you've got your confidence on those facial muscles, you know what you're touching, you know what you're playing with while you're in school learning that. I would take it a step above everybody else and ask when you have a demo if you can do it with your eyes closed, because looking at someone's not going to help you. It's truly like, you know, the best massage therapist I think could probably be blind. But once you've done that real first cleanse and you feel them, you should know exactly where you're going without having to look at them. Like, I know right here is like a little tip of her little eye socket, coming in through the front and then draining. Following those natural pathways, you'll find much easier with your fingers than you will with anything else. With that being said, you want to make sure you keep your nails really, really short. Because you're not going to be able to get in there and do pick and roll.
She broke that news to me.
It's not fun. Like if I don't get my nails cut all the way back to the knee every 2 weeks, I'm potentially going to scratch someone pretty good because you want to pick up the muscle. You don't want to be just like, oh yeah, this is nice.
Right.
So for true cheek rolling, this is probably what you guys are going to practice the most when I leave, and what we'll revisit when I come back, because it is totally foreign to do with your hands. That piano movement we were talking about. When I'm outside the door waiting for a facial, you will find me doing this. I stretch my hands all the way back to give that wrist a good deep stretch. As a nail tech, you should probably do this too. So you'll then bring them forward and flip them down. Oh, I heard yours crack just now. So flip them up all the way. Give yourself a nice little stretch. You can even do that with each hand, like bringing them back or flexing them down. You'll feel like there's 20 little bones right there on that wrist.
I'm always
Keep those
doing like
tendons.
this before I go in. I'm like,
She always feels how tight my hands and wrists are.
oh, they're always tight.
Bringing them down, the little T-Rex arms are really important too, because that stretches the tendons that come up from up top. If those shorten later, that's what gives you the hands that do this, especially if you're doing lash extensions. And to be able to do the cheek rolling, you want to separate your thumb and your pinky as far apart as humanly possible. You'll almost feel like a stretching or a tearing through here when you do that. And then slowly stretch it out as far as you can, bring your pinky in. One finger at a time, you'll feel all kinds of weird cracking, especially since this is your first time doing it. And then close your fist, bring your thumb all the way in front of it. Right through here, that'll give you a nice big stretch through here. And then bring them out. Flip your wrist back up, bring them out, and separate them one at a time. You do that 3 or 4 times and your fingers will actually get
Well,
tired.
look at my one finger's being weird. What the heck?
So every day your fingers will respond differently to it too, but this is the way to make sure you've got evenly distributed pressure in all of your fingers when you're working on someone. When I first started doing this, Voltature called me out and said you were right-handed. I'm tied, like literally tied my hand behind my back and made me do it with my left hand, so my left hand was doing it the same way as my right hand. Because this one doesn't know how to write my name still. And it probably couldn't hold a drill for doing a fill or, you know, any of those things. It's just a dominating hand one way or another. So to get it down, you can definitely do just one hand at a time. I always recommend to rest your thumb right there at that little lymph node, and it's truly a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flush. So you're picking up and rolling it. You want to make sure you've got enough to be able to pick up. You
I've
feel
been
like a
recording
three-
for
I feel
16
like a
minutes.
3 now on my education.
Girl,
for-
no, we're just here learning extra.
No, but I do. I feel like I needed more of a refresher than I really.
We'll make sure when I come
Yes.
back again in a couple months, we'll do
I
hands-on
think
again.
also,
so we can
she
build
gave a
on it.
lot of good tips on ergonomics, and I really, I never
Yeah.
thought about the tables being too short, but.
But thinking about that, I can't stop thinking about like standing up and how that will save me because I've been in a bad car accident, so I have 5 herniated discs in my neck,
Try to be
and if I
careful.
sleep wrong, like it's bad.
Yeah.
So
You gotta be careful. That is for sure. Like, I swear, I mean, that was before I ever even had Eminence in our spa. That was before I
Right.
had my small business.
right.
When I got hired, I walked up to him and I was like, thank you, first of all, for helping me now get out of the treatment room, but letting me be in it the last 15 years. Because I wouldn't be
Wow.
where I'm at if he hadn't pulled me aside and said, you're gonna kill yourself.
Right.
Don't do this.
And you've been with Eminence for 15 years.
We used them for 15 years now. That was my tipping point. There's no other company in the entire world that will tell you, don't be afraid to turn someone's head to the side and massage their ear. Or scissor their
Right.
ear. You gotta be honest about what it is.
So true.
And even talking about organs of detoxification, like that's
Mhm.
such an important thing because we're not over here suggesting supplements. But to know that there's something going on internally that affects the external is a huge correlation that so many humans don't have until they get something like cancer or they get something seriously wrong with them. Then the mind-body connection is there for them, and then they're like, oh, everything I'm doing is attached to this.
Right. It's so true. And we just live in such a fast-paced, easy world where there's so many just easy alternatives that people would prefer.
Well, I feel like facials are going to become more of a mainstream thing because I've noticed a lot of people are not wanting to do Botox anymore. Like, I personally do not like Botox anymore.
After
I
my
prefer
eyebrow illness, I was
microneedling or
like,
something.
no. And like light panels,
Yeah.
like
How
red
do you-
light therapy.
I love red
How do
light
you
therapy.
feel about microneedling?
Love microneedling.
I love microneedling.
I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of needling with radio frequency because that's
Okay.
what happened to my face.
Okay.
So
Do you?
not as deep.
Would you potentially recommend any? I mean, I was considering the marine flower peptide serum. Is that an okay serum to microneedle in, or is anything from Eminence okay to microneedle in?
They don't recommend any living microneedling.
That's what I remember. Marilyn, I asked Marilyn that several years ago.
I have seen firm skin serum and 8-grade serum be okay.
Okay.
And I have seen the luminosity serum.
No, stone crop? No.
Stone Crop will be okay. The marine flower though, because of all of the peptide stuff going on in it,
You could
it
have
has
like
breakout.
a, yeah. Now, like, would you personally, do you perform microneedling? No, just facials.
I'm
Okay.
almost out of the treatment room with my rate. I miss
You
it,
are.
but I get a lot more gratification out of teaching you guys how to be confident and build your business. After doing it for 15 years, there's just something not gratifying about convincing my clients to wash their face twice a day anymore for
I
me.
see.
I'm like, do I have to beg you to use this mask? And they're like,
Right.
yeah, I guess. And I'm like, well, I could just go talk to 20 people
Who are ready to
that
listen.
want to do it and want to know the best one already.
Right. Okay.
I wish you had me
yeah.
teaching. I wish I had you teaching me every day at school.
No,
I would love to do
FCTC
that.
is so.
Basic.
Yeah.
Not even basic. Our
That's
teacher was
Florida, though,
teaching
too.
2 classes at once, and it was a nails class and aesthetics class at once, and we only spent half the day actually learning aesthetics work, but we would
Wow.
spend a good portion of it just doing facials on each other. But again, she wouldn't teach us. She wasn't going around saying like, this is how you do it. It was more like, okay, here's a video, you guys can just follow it, have
Same.
fun.
That was
There
why
is a really
that's how
good
we
teacher
learn.
there now, but
Oh,
I
what's her
don't
name?
have her.
Oh.
Miss Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't have
I heard good things about
Are you
her.
going to
Yeah.
school with a girl named Kylie?
I'm in a different class than everybody else because of the program I'm in,
Okay.
so probably not.
Okay, it was just this girl named Kylie. She's my friend, and she was interested in like shadowing. She's becoming an esthetician, and I was like, yeah, potentially. I was like, I have a couple of other girls that I'm like working with right now. But anyways, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I just remembered I've got the steamer and the bed, but I need to get a towel warmer.
Oh, yeah. I had to crock pot it the other day because I had my first patient.
Yeah.
I
Oh, did
know.
you do it in your
Okay,
little
perfect.
tiny room?
I did. Well,
And
it
it
was a
worked out
friend.
okay?
Yeah, it worked fine. She actually loved it. She was always saying she was
Okay.
gonna come back,
Is
but
it Joy?
I'm so happy
no, it
for
was
you.
stopping.
Oh, good.
I gave her a dermal cleaning facial and I used
Yay.
Eminence products, but
Yay.
I didn't have a towel warmer, so I crock potted it, which I had to do, but it just gets so hot, so I actually warmed it like
And turned
during
it
my
off.
first client, and then I unplugged it, and then it was perfect. It was fine.
Good.
It ended up doing good because
It's
I used
so
to literally like
hot.
scorch
I'll
my
order
hands
one.
last
Yes.
time I had to do that.
I've done
I
that.
love hearing that.
Yeah, so
Good.
I made do, but she was really happy, so she already said she's
So
gonna
you
come back.
you did the
Yay.
you did the hot towel, then you just did like a little make sure everything's clean.
Yeah, just because I'm not gonna cleanse her again, I don't want to
If we
irritate
did
her
the
skin.
platform, do you think 4 inches up, or is that too high?
This would just have to be like.
Is that the new oil that you're
Because he
using?
could use a 2x4 as the
For you,
base.
it would need to come to right here. You want it just below your waist so that you're able to still bend your elbow and foot.
So that's about 4 inches.
Okay.
What about
That's
me?
what we do with our
Plus, I actually have a
chairs.
boot on, but I wear these boots
I'm
on.
gonna need it like
so-
2 inches higher. Her legs are long for her house.
Let me see.
Yeah, you're so tiny.
I wonder if we could put
Yeah.
blocks
You're
under
right,
the
you need that to be about 4 inches.
or something.
'Cause, yeah, I
Yes, I am
definitely see
using the new oil.
Yeah.
the charcoal.
It does smell really good.
I think that's the one.
And I'm like, do I want, I was thinking about the rose head, but I'm like, do I want this?
So
We also
when we're
got
in
like
emotional
filter
periods, they
ones.
do restart
Oh, I-
put
well,
your
I
oils
gotta-
select
I
from,
gotta-
so you girls
I
are able to
gotta-
choose from the new launch today. Either the charcoal black seed serum or the mask you can choose from.
Oh, awesome.
The disincrustation gel's unfortunately a pro-only product, but we do always offer full-size retail serum in the training.
What's the benefits of the mask?
So really good at removing a lot of congestion, helps to regulate oil a lot without drying out. It has ileite clay in it. I have it, I can let you feel it in case you'd like to try that one. There's
Yeah.
also squalene in it, which I told everyone I would find the source of because traditionally that comes from shark liver, but ours comes from vegetable sugars.
Okay.
So no shark liver.
Which
Nice
one do you
mask.
recommend more for currently? The charcoal oil, because I do like that too,
Mhm.
or the kombucha microbiome mask? Because I have used that one. I took home a sample the last
For
class and I
you?
did like it.
For you, I would say to do the facial oil and the kombucha leaf one.
Okay.
Because the charcoal mask is gonna be more detoxifying, which you don't have a lot of congestion going on. That serum, because it has the immortelle oil as well as the cica extract and the squalene, I think is very beneficial for everybody, especially someone like who's not concerned about pore size and oil
Yeah.
production. We can go a little deeper into that when I come back to you, because there's some pretty astonishing before and afters for having just used the facial oil and mattifying it was for
Okay.
people, without drying them out.
And then would that be used after moisturizer?
Before.
Before, okay.
You put just a couple drops on the damp skin, and then your SPF on top if it's during the day, or
And then moisturizer or
Close.
music. Okay.
Like
So
I've
like
been
that-
doing that with the bright skin mask on top at night. The
The-
black seed
The
oil.
black seed oil. Like, so, for example, I'm doing Birchwater, Luminosity Serum, Clear Skin Moisturizer, and Facial Recovery Oil.
Beautiful.
Kind of doing a lot right now.
Not wrong.
But, so, because that's an oil, but I would still use it as a serum in that order.
You could, or you could put it on top last.
Last,
I don't
okay.
understand.
No, you're good.
So-
It depends on the finish you're looking for. So for me, I do it during the day under my SPF because I don't want to be super
Okay,
hydrated looking.
I like that, but okay.
I was into like super dewy through the winter, and
Right.
then now I'm like, I want to glow, but I
Yeah.
feel like by noon sometimes I can be a little grease.
True,
Mhm.
true.
So I put douse with birch water, do that, and then a little koi on top.
Birchwater's my new obsession.
Girl, so
I
good.
love it. So for Jordan, like, would she be better off with having the serum underneath her moisturizer because she's
Yes.
looking for better, like, more penetration with it? Okay.
You want the most active ingredients closest because your
Okay.
barrier's been compromised, not just sealing and active ingredients.
Right.
You're getting the benefit of sealing in the probiotic moisturizer with the facial recovery oil. So you're putting a non-comedogenic active oil on top of an active moisturizer and sealing that in to stay active.
Right.
Whereas that would be putting the nutrients that she needs on bare skin first.
I see.
It's almost 2:30.
It's okay.
Okay.
My appointment's
Who
at,
cares about nothing right
my
now?
appointment's at 3:20, so,
Oh, okay.
and we did that pre-check-in. I have to get a freaking mammogram today.
You said it's 2:30.
almost 2:30. It's
Yeah, I
like
gotta
6
go.
minutes.
That's
to-
my little ticker too, but do you
And
guys feel like you learned a good?
yes,
I love
I'm
that.
really excited about the standing. I'm gonna give my boyfriend a facial later.
I was literally
and then-
thinking Jared's
And
gonna be
jack
on
up your
that
massage
face.
table.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could just set the
Jack
feet
up
up
the
on a
table high, feel
2x4.
it.
On a
that?
tuba.
Jack up your table higher than you'd be used to.
Uh-huh.
And see how much better you do, because even like I've worked on people where I'm getting underneath their back and I've squatted down, especially that last little neck massage, and I'll get my hands underneath their little clavicle spine and push them up. And if you're higher, you can do this a lot easier
Right.
without having to feel like you're scooping underneath
Okay.
them and then having to push up.
I do that pushing on their shoulders like that, but I've never lifted the head at the same time.
Feels good. It like feels like it's relieving a lot of.
Wow, I'm so excited.
I know,
Miss
he sent
Long
me this
Neck.
after.
And this
Of
is
course.
just as another question about Jordan. You know, I've worked on her skin before, but like I can't determine what that is. It's
KP, keratosis pilaris,
It
like
is.
the exact same thing.
That's what I have on
Okay.
my arms.
Okay.
That I knew I knew that was on my arms.
Okay,
I've had
but-
that forever,
yeah.
but
You
because
can
it's
feel
different,
some of my
it's not
texture
like,
too.
yeah, it's not like
The
full-on-
birch water's
honestly,
made a
yours
huge
is-
difference.
I was killed for mine to feel like
We'll
that.
get you there, girl.
and the birch water is amazing. Like I did a little tester from
I
our
have one too.
from our tester bottle. I tried it and I took it on my vacation, and I was riding around on a 4-wheeler the whole time, so dirt was like blowing in my face,
Mhm.
and I still was like so clean
Yeah.
and fresh.
Birch trees they plant in New York City, they absorb 400 tons of pollution a year, a full adult-sized one, so it's super anti-inflammatory. And there's snow mushroom in there, which binds itself its own weight in water 400 times
I
versus
love snow
100,
mushroom.
so it's even better than your hyaluronic acid.
Right.
And there's reishi mushroom in that, which is adaptogenic. So it's like, no matter what is going on, you get a huge drink of water from that. I love that after men shave too, to help with folliculitis because it's so anti-inflammatory, but it's like giving it the drink
Is
that it needs.
sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It'll come to you, don't worry.
Something with the birch water.
It'll come to you. So I know you gotta get your, points about you, I'll let you get up. Do we need more pens? I might have packed them up.
No,
Oh, you still got yours? Perfect. Alright. Got that, and then I'll also give you girls your guidance list to start. And again, you can choose either the charcoal and black seed serum or the mask. Did you wanna feel the mask?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I do remember the question. It was,
Would you like to feel it?
Nah, I think I just want to
Oh my
get
gosh,
the
that's so
oil.
nice.
I sold on that.
Compared to like other.
Because I was thinking I needed to add I have the marine peptide serum, so how would I incorporate them together?
I would do your peptide serum on damp skin, let it dry, and then get your face soaking wet again with the birch water and do a few drops of that.
Okay.
And you could put moisturizer on top if you wanted to, or that might be just perfect for you. It's completely up to you.
oh, yay.
Okay.
Oh, you look great.
I feel great.
And
Your
I'm gonna
eyebrows look
filter.
lifted than I've ever like seen them.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
happy.
What
Where's
is
my
the free
need to fill out for her?
radical?
Is this it?
I think
Like
it's underneath
the
here.
main factor that does the free radical from the birch water.
So
the
that's coming
mushroom?
from the birch.
Oh, from the birch. Okay. Because I was like just quickly, I typed in birch water on Google the other day just to like, I was trying to pull it up quickly on Eminence to see how much it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought up, I didn't put birch water Eminence, I just put birch
Birch
water.
water.
And then it brought up birch water and it was showing me all this stuff and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
people like drink that and stuff.
Yes. Same thing with the marshmallow root extract, where we get our hyaluronic acid. Marshmallow root extract is where we get ours from, and that's very common in throat coat tea because
Okay.
it's a botanical hyaluronic.
I see.
So it's actually hydrating your vocal cords.
I've drank that before when I
So,
don't feel good. I
like,
like that tea.
Would that
Almost as
be
good as
like,
gonna-
with the birch water, I guess I'd have to do my own research on it, but like, would that be like a internal, like, I wonder if that'd be like free radical eliminator
That's a rabbit hole I haven't gone down yet, but
Might have to
doesn't
go
mean
on.
it's not a good option.
Same here.
I don't think
Right now,
I would
I'm
do
more
it.
intrigued by the black seed oil.
Okay, yes, I do, I'm gonna do my dive on the black seed oil, and do a good research and figure out what kind of capsule. Are you taking a boxy capsule?
Not yet. I'm gonna wait till I see Tina down in Claremont to see what she's doing.
Okay.
She's done like a full body lymph scan on me before to see if I'd even be a good candidate for it.
Okay.
I've also seen, I'm trying to think what else I've seen internally recently. That's
I see them all over this lawn.
really phenomenal.
Spell your last name again, I don't wanna do it.
Hoelle.
Thank you for being such a good rep. You're the
Thank
best
you.
rep
You're
ever.
honestly
You seriously
amazing.
are the best.
Yeah.
I'm just almost wondering if we could just cut a 2x4 to literally put under.
Yeah, as long
That,
as
like-
we have it nice and safe, I think we're fine. But I'm gonna test out the massage table and see
Yeah,
how I
see how
like
it does for
it.
you.
I might like the massage table.
Yeah, maybe that piece of wood won't be in the way if you're
If I'm not-
standing.
Yeah.
And if
so-
it's not something you can
Now I feel
accommodate,
like
you
I
could
sh-
definitely do, like, when I turn her to the side, getting into the eye and cheek, you could do all of that standing. You're about as tall as I am.
Yeah.
You could definitely do that here. It just would be a matter of when you're really going to scoop in underneath someone, it's a lot easier to just
Yeah,
shove.
I've been considering doing a little redecorating in here, so maybe I might move my bed a little more centered.
Well, it's like when I shampoo, I kind
Or
of
you
come
could even
down
fit
like
it at an angle.
this even,
So you
so
can
that
get all the way
I'm
around both
not
sides.
leaning over the
That's
bowl.
cute. Yeah, I've been playing around in here. My sister's like an interior design guru, so I'm gonna have her come in. She wanted me to have this crazy bulky back bar that went all the way across the whole wall, and I liked the idea, but I just feel like I like my little bubble.
How would she style that? Would she
It
have
was
you with
like-
several shelves or almost
It was
like
like
a restaurant
one
back
tall
there?
one over here, like one really tall one, and then it was cabinets under, and then basically it was just like a long desk right here. It was like some sort of like vanity TV stand sort of thing. It was nice looking, but I don't
You
know.
have to see it. You have to see if it would even flow for you. You gotta find what's best for you.
I just love my bamboo look, like, cause it goes with the organic vibe.
Yes, there's a really cute, I think I shared it a while ago, cute all white cabinet that someone bought.
Uh-huh.
And then they got these and cut them in half
Uh-huh.
and glued them to the back of it. So instead of being just plain white backing, it looked like bamboo.
Oh, that's really cute.
So a much cheaper way to get that look as well, because bamboo is expensive.
I know, I have to decide for the other room what we're gonna use as a back door.
Well, maybe we could brainstorm some ideas, because I'm really interested in kind of redoing a few things around here, and I wouldn't mind having a similar flow in both rooms. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would love that because I ain't good at stuff like that.
Okay.
I do not have the eye.
How many of us are gonna get the oil today?
I'm gonna get the oil.
I feel like everybody except for maybe her.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna get it. It's a
She
good
might
one
be
for
that.
me. I was just tossed between the Rosehip Triple C and E firming oil. Is that something that would be really good for me, or is facial recovery oil better for me because I